Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is about how I made around $940 on Fiverr doing 1 gig and 1 gig only, and you would never guess what that particular gig is because it's something that I did and thought maybe it was going to be popular, but I wasn't sure how it was going to work, and that is writing meeting minutes. So there's been a couple of people who were interested in my meeting minutes gigs, but it seemed like they wanted me to record minutes for a business where there's only one person involved, and I have no idea how to do that. But I think it's definitely something that I need to look into because more than one person asked me. So now I'm starting to think maybe that might be something that I need to look into because I have no idea how I would do that. And the one lady even went as far as giving me like a really nice template, but I felt like it was going to be really hard for me to figure out. And now that I have time, I can actually go back and check how to get something like that done. Obviously, as long as it's ethical, because I'm just not sure how you can have meeting minutes but you are the only person in the business. I've also had someone contact me about creating a summary for a 5-day convention. I was flabbergasted by that also because I was like, how do you do that? There's so many presentations that were made and you're giving me access to all the slides, but it's just way too much information for me to compress. So maybe there's a way to do that I don't know yet, but this particular gig has been amazing. So in the past 30 days alone, the impressions on it, meaning like how many people have gone through like the pages, let's say looking for someone to do minutes for them, is I think mine was over 2,000 impressions. I can't remember the clicks, but I've gotten over 10 orders on this particular gig ever since I opened it. And no, not ever since I opened it, ever since I got the first client. I would say that I opened it when I became a new seller or a level 1 seller, and I think that was last year. But I have to be honest in saying that for the majority of the time that I've had the gig, it never sold up until this year around July. So right after the July meeting that I had to transcribe and write minutes for, I think I got one other one in August, and I thought that would be it. Then I got a recurring client in October, technically September, but it was delivered in October, so it counts as part of the October earnings. So I got a client in October, and that person has been with me now for 2 months. And I think for them alone, they've ordered over 8 times, different meetings though. And I've also had someone, this is their 3rd time ordering from me. So it's been really exciting across the board. I have to say that the biggest challenge that I have with meeting minutes is that it actually takes me way longer than what it should. And I think the reason why it's not taking me less time is that I actually haven't invested in a system that will help me do it in less time. And then I think the other thing that's been bothering me as well is also like the topic in the meeting itself. My one client is very like government related and all of that stuff, so it's quite political, even though it's not like aggressive politics like we are used to here. For example, it's not that political. Actually, what they're doing is actually quite nice. And then the other one is about I guess a management company for a business, which is manageable, but they talk about things that I have no idea about. I mean, you don't need to know what they're talking about, or you don't need to understand. You just need to, like, the way you compress it just needs to make sense. So that's been, I would say, the biggest challenges about this. Sorry, I'm short. I have shortness of breath because I'm actually a little bit sick, but I feel better today, which is why I chose today to actually do this video, because I've actually been excited about it. Like, I think after the one client ordered for their 5th time, I was like, you know what, even if they stopped right now, I would be more than happy because I never expected it to go over $500. And now that we're almost reaching $1,000, I'm just ecstatic, honestly. Another reason why I'm happy about this is because right in the middle of October, sorry, right in the middle of October, I had a big transport problem, and then it caused me to pay a lot of my transport costs out of pocket, and it made me realize I don't have an emergency budget for that kind of thing. Even if I did, I would save it for something more urgent, like maybe like a medical issue or something like that. It made me realize that I don't have emergency funds for, let's say, non-critical things. So I had to dip into my disposable income, if you want to call it that, in order to cover for that. And I think all these gigs that I've been getting more than made up for that. And I think that's the one thing I'm mostly excited about. But more than that, it also helped me cover like the last 10% of the stubborn debt that I've had. I still haven't made the physical payment over to the debt companies or whatnot, the bank. But I have the money to take care of the debt right now. It's just that December's coming up, and my one job is really, really unsure. So I have to put up the money that I should have been earning or that I should earn during that particular month. I have to put that aside because it would be foolish to think that I can pay off my debt and not get that income that I basically rely on. But it would be awesome to also not have to pay interest on any debt or make a minimum repayment because of the fact that I've paid off my debt. So there's kind of like good things happening all around, but because of the technical aspect of it, I have to be really careful about how I handle this. Do you get what I mean? Um, but other than that, like I'm just so excited about this. And honestly, I think the bottom line of this whole thing is that's what I love about Fiverr. Like it doesn't discriminate. I mean, maybe there are people who discriminate. I don't know where they are, but it doesn't discriminate. Like this person hiring me had no idea whether I could do the stuff or not. I remember the first time that he hired me, I asked for a template. I was like, I need to see how you do it so that I can kind of mimic the same way. And he literally said, I do it the way that you think. I trust your professional judgment. The heat was on because I was just like, okay, if I mess this up, he's gonna have to get another seller. And another thing is that with the other one, the business one, I messed up the first submission, and then he returned it for me to fix, which was so devastating. I hate that, and it hasn't happened to me in Fiverr in a really long time because once I hone in on a specific skill, like I get it right almost each and every time. But this was new to me, and this was a different business than the previous businesses that I've done. Um, so you just have to like roll with the punches, so to speak. But then when I submitted it again, he said it was okay. It wasn't the best, but it was okay. So that was the last time that I expected to hear from that guy. Then he, out of the blue, he hired me again. This time in a better template. I really tried my best to fill it out, and I was still not satisfied with it. And I thought that was the last time that he was gonna hire me again. And then he hired me again last week. He hasn't given me feedback, and the project is due any moment, which means that at any moment it will automatically be submitted, which kind of bothers me because if he's not submitting it himself, is he forgetting about it or is he avoiding giving a review? Maybe he has a bad review, I don't know. But sometimes you can't think about these things because you don't know what's going on in their lives. So it's just best to just do your best and keep it going. Honestly, I feel like I am reaching a point of exhaustion at some point. So I might start to outsource it, But honestly, I feel like I've built such a trust with these people that I'll probably still continue doing it myself, even though this week I told myself to take the time off to recover so that during December, which is like in the next 5 seconds, I can go back to Upwork. I've completely abandoned Upwork because I need to focus on my job, get good at my job, and then come back to Upwork. Sorry, I'm trying to breathe through my mouth. It makes me feel like 100, but I just don't want like a stuffy nose and a sore throat or all of that stuff to stop me. I think in the past, if I felt this sick, I was in bed. Giving up on life or the day, and can't be recovered. But now I want to take control of my life. I want to be in charge of it. And yeah, I really am proud of myself, especially with where Fiverr has taken me. Like, I'm just really proud of what I've done on the platform. Um, I don't know if you guys know, but I followed Alex Vasulo, like, and she's the one who kind of guided me through the process, not personally, but like her income literally tripled there after her successful year, and mine is like literally crawling to maybe 70% of what I made last year. But one thing to keep in mind is that most of my gigs are writing gigs. And last year, or the early this year, is when OpenAI, ChatGTP, all these things launched. So people just literally just type a few words in ChatGTP and it gives them everything that they need. They don't need to hire people like me. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes I just have to remember that it is what it is. But I'm just so glad that this gig is doing extremely well. And I can't wait to see what the rest of the year will have in store. Maybe I can still catch up to my earnings from last year. But even where I am right now, I'm 100% satisfied and super, super grateful. So, yeah, if you want to try meeting minutes on Fiverr, make sure you start the gig today. If you want personalized training from me, there's also a link for that down below. But I really hope that you guys make your freelancing money because it's possible for everybody, especially us here in South Africa, where it feels like it's really hard to get a side hustle, but it's completely, completely possible for anybody. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time. Bye.